Hi everyone, thank you for taking the time again this week to join me for the recording of this week's blog. This just happens to be my birthday week, so I am so happy to be able to start my week with all of you. So the name of the blog this week is called Hope. Life here on the earth plane is anything but easy. We are told that while in the spirit world, we had a choice to come here or not. Some may wonder what kind of a crazy soul would choose to endure the hardships, losses, adversities, and pain that this experience may bring to us. Those of us on a spiritually directed path understand that the earth is a school and an enormously difficult one as well. We come here to work through our suffering, to learn our lessons, and then hopefully graduate, return home to spirit, and move on to the next level of consciousness. That is the soul's journey. Sometimes we wonder why some people have so much more pain than the average person. We also ponder a life where everything seems to go smoothly and how that person got so lucky. Well, it's been my experience that no matter how carefree someone's life seems, it is rarely without challenges. We may also think about how some people are able to endure their intense pain and heartache and never lose hope. So what is hope anyway? Well, the dictionary defines hope this way: to cherish a desire with anticipation, to want something to happen or be true, to desire accompanied by expectation of or belief in fulfillment. Well, yes, that definition sounds about right, and we all need hope in such an unpredictable and sometimes frightening world. But what if what we hope for doesn't materialize again and again? What if our circumstances seem so hopeless that we can't even conceptualize how things could possibly get better? Well, that's where spiritual faith and trust come in. When we look at our lives through spiritual eyes, everything changes. We know there's a reason for everything. We know that our soul had a plan in place before we entered the tiny body inside our mother's womb. We were aware of the challenges that would be presented to us, and we said a firm yes to them. Why? Well, it's because these difficulties, as hard as they are, were perfect for the lessons that we came to learn and the purpose we chose to put forth. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how we look at it, a sort of amnesia falls over us the moment we incarnate here. We have a fresh start and a clean slate. We have an opportunity to do better than the last time we took this journey, and the very real possibility of remembering our soul's plan for this life. Yet we also face the possibility that with no recollection of our past life mistakes, we may make those same mistakes again in this lifetime, if we're not awake and soulfully directed. As a young woman, I was drawn to a man who caused me intense pain right from the start, but I stayed with him. I married him, and I had 3 children with him. Everyone around me tried to tell me that it was a mistake to marry him, but I didn't listen. I couldn't escape the hold that he had on me, and I didn't understand why. Now, however, I do. The only reason I know is because of the intensity of the pain and the hopelessness I felt in such an abusive, dysfunctional relationship. Had it been less intense, I don't think I would have obtained the understanding that I did, or would have recognized the value that it presented for my soul. So with no hope for me on the outside world, physical world, that I could find, and hardly any faith or trust in myself, I turned my attention inward. I began to seek guidance from something or someone greater than myself. And I found hope in the remembrance of my incredible soul and the power it held in my life. I rediscovered the warrior woman within, but a warrior woman who fought with weapons of love, light, truth, and peace. Self-love began to grow, and I discovered that learning to love myself was the lesson within the pain. I learned that authentic love, in all the myriad of forms it takes, begins and blossoms within. It is only then that we can give and receive genuine, authentic love during our physical lives. Otherwise, they're just ego-driven. As I began to follow a spiritually directed life, I started understanding that hope can be found no matter how difficult our adversities are. Why? Well, it's because our lives are not defined, and we are not defined by the adversities in our lives, but how we choose to respond to them. Seeking answers from a spiritual perspective means trying to understand why we have drawn a particular person or circumstance into our lives. When we ask the question, what is it that I am to learn from this, rather than cursing the situation and begging for it to go away, we embrace the opportunity for our souls to grow and evolve. If we simply just write it out and wait for it to dissolve without doing the inner work with our soul and our team of light, we will never find the treasures for our soul buried beneath our trials. We may also be destined to a life fraught with challenge after challenge that seem different, but though the circumstances may be different, they hold the same lesson that we keep failing to learn. Nothing we experience here is an accident. And nothing is really either good or bad. It just is. We, as fallible mortal humans, find a need to judge our experiences as negative or positive. Our souls, on the other hand, see the opportunity in our challenges, and that creates great hope. The hope is not that we predetermine the outcome, but to approach our adversity with presence, awareness, and with the intention to be love, and then discern what it came to teach us. It is a chance to pray for the divine design for our lives to be revealed to us, even during times when we are embroiled in the chaos and turmoil. We can either be a victim, or we can be a hero or heroine. We can either cower in fear and run from our pain, or we can turn and face it with courage, faith, and infinite hope that it will help us grow and move ever closer to the infinite light of our loving Creator. My ex-husband was the greatest teacher I have ever had in my life. I am sincerely grateful for his presence during our turbulent time together. I believe he and I had a sacred contract that was set in motion during our time together in spirit. I hear my husband's cell phone ringing. I apologize for that. We both agreed to be part of each other's lives in a particular way for a specific purpose. Through much deep and intensive inner work, I was able to revisit the moment when he agreed to be that particular person, as difficult as he was, in order to help me learn self-love. If I hadn't learned to love myself, I don't believe I would have remembered my life purpose, which was to teach what I have learned spiritually, and to teach it through my work as a writer and as a massage therapist. I hope that his time spent with me, because I'm sure it caused him great pain too when it ended, I really hope that his time spent with me offered his soul a great gift of understanding as well. Now, besides my difficult marriage, there have been other challenges and painful circumstances that continue to remind me to heed the lessons and never lose hope, no matter what challenges I am facing. I may falter, and I do, and I may fall at times, which I do, under the weight of certain difficulties. But the underlying hope never abandons me. And I'm so grateful for that. My faith and trust that the divine design for my life is unfolding each day also reminds me that it's my job to embrace it all, everything, both the joys and the sorrows, with gratitude and with infinite love. So, let us all hold fast to hope. For this life is finite, yet the world to come is eternal, and the constant evolution of our soul is our reward for a physical life directed by the infinite light, our Creator. We're not alone, ever. Together, we are one. And together, we will bask in the endless love and unity that is our birthright and our destiny. Together, we will all return home to our Creator and everlasting peace. So I hope that gave you a bit of sparkle and light on this day, wherever you happen to be in your life. I wanted to just add one side note that I didn't really write about. Because during the divorce, I did maintain my commitment to stay the high ground, to stay in peace and do the right thing, and learn how important it was to love myself. It shifted my energy, my vibration, my ability to attract a certain type of individual into my life. Because of my low self-esteem, initially I attracted someone into my life, as I did with my ex-husband. But because I did the inner work, my vibration changed, and I was able to align with the energy of my husband, Steve, now. And if I hadn't done that work, I hadn't stayed in hope and really looked for why it was there in my life, I don't think that I would have been in a position to attract someone as wonderful, accepting, kind, and loving as he is. So good things happen when we hold on to hope and believe that no matter what we're going through, no matter how hard it is, if we stay present and say, I don't like this, I wish it wasn't here, but I know it's here for a reason. I know it's here as a gift. Though it doesn't feel like that, but it truly is. Our worst adversities are truly the greatest treasures for our soul. So, thank you again for being with me. Happy birthday to me. And hopefully I will see you again next week. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.